Words have power. The power to build, to heal, to inspire, and even to transform lives. Today on The Conversation, we are exploring the power of spoken words with someone whose voice carries impact. She's not just a spoken word artist, she's a spoken word minister, one who uses poetry as a tool for inspiration, healing, and spreading divine messages. Joining us is Rebekah Esongba, a spoken word minister. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Now, as I said earlier, spoken word is a powerful form of artistic, expression.
Yeah.
How did you find yourself in this world?
Okay, thank you very much. From childhood, I have always been into the creatives.
Okay.
And I think my dad really, he really influenced me in this because he would gather us and tell us stories about tortoise, all those folklores and all of that. So I don't know if it was that or but there's also something inside of me because, he told all my siblings stories anyways. So it just developed a strong power of imagination. So when he's telling stories, I'm seeing tortoise, I'm seeing him being very wise and very cunning and all of that. And so somehow, I started telling my own stories. I would just sit and just tell stories to my siblings and tell to my classmates. And sometimes they'll be like, no, don't let this person die, don't let this person die. Okay. And I would say it's my story,
okay.
Right?
So your stories, are they mainly fictional or true life stories?
Well, I started with fictional stories.
Okay.
But of course, influenced by your environments. Yes.
Okay.
But so I started writing stories basically. But I think it was after school, that was secondary school, that in my 16th birthday, I just started to write in verses. That was my first poem. And I liked it, and people around me liked it. So it was mostly just writing poems, right? I think it was when I was in school, University of Lagos, that I heard someone actually present it. And it was so powerful and very, fascinating, and I liked it. I didn't really get to present as such, but it was just one day in church. I had written just to say, just to thank God, basically. And the pastor said, you know what, come and say it. And really, that was how it started. I actually held the paper that day, but later on I was like, you know what, I'm going to memorize this thing. And then I wouldn't have to look at the paper anymore. I started seeing other people, come out, and then I started learning as well. But I would say it formed from my childhood, really.
All right, so we're talking about the power of spoken words. Now, in your perspective, how powerful are words?
Words give life. And words can also destroy. So, being that I'm from a very faith background, right? We're told in the Holy Book of the Christians, that's the Bible, that the power of life and death are in the tongue. So you choose the one. Really, even our experiences, even before we learned to read and write, we heard words, and those words formed us. Those words formed our perspectives. Really, you wouldn't even get to know any other reality, usually, if you're not exposed to it. But sometimes you can be here, and because you read a lot, you can get to know what's happening out there. You can get to have more information, be a better person. So words really are powerful. You can give life with words, and definitely you can totally destroy somebody with words. I think words are very powerful.
Okay, some see spoken word artists, when they perform their craft as entertainment. Yours is a ministry, when you minister to people. Is there a thin line between both, or is there anything that sets both description of spoken word apart?
Well, Like you said, a thin line. So yeah, it could be, because it's words and it's a performance, so it could be entertainment, right? But
One thing I didn't remember to ask you was, is it just mainly ministration? Is that all you do with your spoken words craft?
well, mostly.
Okay, so I will move it away from entertainment, right? So let me move it away from the entertainment.
Well, it didn't really start as administration.
Okay.
I just wrote, probably I'm feeling very sad, I'm feeling very happy, But so it sort of veered into ministration when I realized how powerful these words could be. So I decided I could actually just entertain and thrill, but then I could touch something inside someone. I could leave a message. Somebody could be, sometimes you can just see this word, you can see that this is a cup, but somebody is spoken word poets or minister can just, say something about cup. And then it's no longer the same cup you used to know. It becomes something, you begin to see it differently, right? So because I understand that, my words will leave a difference. So I decide that, you know what, let me give life with these words. Let me inspire hope. Let there be a change. So yeah, so between the administration and entertainment, of course. So beyond just church settings, I have also spoken at youth programs that are in exactly church settings, but then you're trying to build, teenagers, trying to instill values and all of that. So yeah, as long as it's ministering, is giving exactly positive impact, then you can find me there.
Okay. I'd like you to
Go ahead.
I'd like you to give us an example of what you do. Show us what you do.
Okay, thank you very much. I will just go ahead and do this.
Because I have a follow-up question. That's why I'm asking you to do this.
Okay.
I want to observe. I want the viewers to observe something. Then a question will come after that.
All right, thank you. The title of this piece is I Defy. This is the season of defiance, and I am in the mood to pay no respects. So I hereby defy. I defy all that makes sense to my 5 senses, your 5 senses. Make that 10 senses, present tenses. You see a spade? Well, I see a bulldozer, calling those things that be not as though they were, never called a spade a spade. You see a casting down? Oh, that's strange, because I see a rising. It is the rising of a cloud. And though it be the size of a man's hands, I hear it as the sound of abundance of rain. This is the season of defiance. I look into the atmosphere. Cloud shadows hanging down windows, sorrows, hollows, rear. I defy the void, formless, shapeless darkness. I see, let there be light. And there was light. I defy the Nebuchadnezzar, Nabal, Haman, sons of Belial, men posing as gods. Now may the gods that did not create me pack well, speak a word, it shall not stand. What's than the national grid sinking sand? Shoot your shot, it shall boomerang. Egungun, be careful. Now express you they go. I defy the economy, no money, where? See, currency, you know my rich daddy is calling you. Time waits for no man. Where? I defy these certain sons. Stand at attention until I, Rebekah, the unicorn, emerge victorious. I laugh like a man high on the most high, privy to the rhythm and melody in howling tempests, roaring waves, raging storms. So I dance, sure-footed on the promises of I am not a man that I should lie. This is the season of defiance, and I am in the mood to pay no respects to all that is contrary to the volume of book it is written of me. So I hereby defy.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Well done, Rebekah. I saw another Rebekah while you were performing.
Fierce.
You know, it was very fierce. It was very passionate. So I'd like you to take us through your through this process. You know, your creative process. How do you piece together your spoken words, like the one you just delivered? How do you piece them? How do you start?
I need to add to that question, how do you blend faith and creativity now? Because I'm a Christian, so I understood some of the things that you said, taken from the Bible and all that. So, and I saw the way you added some, what do they call them now? Some trends, you know. So how do you come up with that?
Well, I'd have to say, firstly, it's a gift or a talent, right? Just like I also wonder how some people just come up and dance and sing and, you know, compose, right? So for me, firstly, I'd say it's a talent, and then experience, life's experiences also is also expressed in that. So you are your experiences. You are pieces. You know, there are like several pieces in you that has to do with something from years back, from this experience, and it makes up, you know, the whole. Yeah. So for me, of course, there's faith. Then there's experience. There's me. There's something inside me that's trying to, you know, understand. That's trying to make sense. Trying to, you know, pass a message. For instance, this piece, you know, I Defy is actually a very personal story, right? That's expressing that to say, you know what, it looks like things aren't exactly, you know, you have this, you see yourself there, and it's like you're doing your best, but it's like it's not obvious. And many times you see people go into depression. You see people really, you talk to young people and they tell you, oh, they are depressed because of the environment, circumstances. But I think that's where the power of faith comes in. That is, as a, I don't want to just say religion, but yeah, as faith, as your relationship with God. It makes you understand that your present circumstances doesn't exactly define you. So there's a process. You are going somewhere, right? And this influences all aspects of life. So for me, it's like, you know what? I defy all these voices in my head, all these, you know, the circumstances. It looks like all things are not all. I defy them. I know where I'm going. I'm on a journey. And really, I am not what I used to be. You know, you would see a lot of growth. But many times when you're facing things and it looks like, oh, it's not up there, it makes you forget where you're coming from and even the victories that you have made. So for me, it's saying, I defy all those things that want to put me down. You know what? Everything is going to work exactly as it is written of me. Yeah, everything's going to work exactly as is planned for me. It's going to work out very well. So faith, creativity, then there's the you, right? There's a you, there's your faith. Yes, there's the you, there's your experience, there's your skill. Of course, you want to learn. You want to look at people who do this. What can I learn? How can I be better? How can people understand my message better? So yeah, all those things actually come together.
The piece you just performed, what is it called?
I Defy.
I Defy. Okay. I Defy. Before you came up with it, do you put it into writing first, and then you, during the process of creation, do you put it into writing first and then you start to perform it by yourself? I just want to know how you come about this piece or every other piece you've always you've delivered in the past.
Or have you had a spontaneous one before that it just comes up and you deliver?
Well,
or is it? It seems you're not getting me. For every piece you have,
yeah,
is there a process? What do you do before you get there? That's what I'm trying to know.
I think I understand you.
Okay.
So many times it comes as, should I say, inspirations, ideas in your head. Sometimes you look at something and you're not too pleased with it and you want to, you know, express yourself. Yes, there are times like that. There are times that it also hits you. It just hits you, you know, it comes as ideas and you hear the words in your head as well. So at that point, probably you are too busy to take a pen to put down, but it's just there somewhere. You just save it until you can get your pen. So yes, there's the process of putting it down.
Okay.
Because while it may be in your head, it's still vague.
It's still hazy.
Yes, still hazy. So you want to take your pen and put it down. And it takes a lot of time, really. You know, you just have to like put away the distractions. Just be by yourself. So most times you see poets and writers, usually they like their solitude sometimes because it allows them to, you know, reflect, just be in their space and be able to put down these words. So definitely, like I said, I used to just write before I heard somebody. And I'm like, okay. While these are great pieces, you can put life into them. You can, you know, charge with these, right? So definitely, you still have to memorize them. Some are going to stick with you. Really, some are going to even be messages to you. Yeah, some are going to stick with you, and some you may have to maybe go back to fine tune some lines. And yeah, so there's the in your head, there's the you bring it out, and then you still now memorize it.
Yeah. All right, so spoken word, so I call it now the spoken word industry. It's becoming a thing now. In fact, as you were talking, you sounded like one other lady that I just...
She sounded like Maya Angelou.
Oh, me, she sounded like, to me, she sounded like I be quick.
Really?
Yes, it sounded like her.
But it's interesting because those are people I really respect and look up to and read and, you know, watch their works and all of that.
So I was going to ask, are there people that you're looking up to also in this ministry? And then how have you seen the spoken word ministry evolve over the years?
Okay. I think that one of the very first people I got to experience is Maya Angelou. I think back then, so people come out and read their poems, and you know, people just clap. But she was a force.
Yes.
She was using hers to fight what was going on in her society at the time. So there was this defiance. There was this fight, right? And you could hear that in how she said it, in how she presented it. Of course, when you read it, it's great. But when you hear her, it becomes something different. It just stays with you. It just stays with you. So it has actually evolved because people are getting to appreciate now. I see the appreciation. I see the celebration. I mean, even having the spoken word poets as you know, your celebrity, like, oh, that wasn't...
It wasn't there like
it wasn't there. It wasn't there while I was in secondary school. It wasn't there. But now you can see, you know, people like I said, Ivy Quake, there's this Jackie Hill, what's the name? I think I've forgotten the name. I don't want to give her another name. That is also on YouTube, you know, even out there, right? I'm talking of in the Western world, you know, people actually get to listen and get to be touched. And this is not song, this is not drama, this is just something different. And people who are not poets, I used to be worried, like, would they really understand, right? It used to be in my head, like, would they understand? So sometimes it inhibits you somehow. But you get to see that, oh, people are actually getting to, you know, feel the force of this, and lives are actually getting changed. You know, it just makes you, like, really, really... It makes you even get better yourself to know that, okay, I'm doing something that is changing lives out there. Yes.
Okay. While performing, I also noticed that your performance came with a lot of body movement, you know, your use of tempo rising and falling, and, you know, was this part, did you learn all this, or it's the words that, you know, really affecting or making you do those movements? And it's not just you. I've seen Maya, you know, perform that way too. So is it just the words that move you, that's always almost making you look as if you're dancing?
Well, I think everyone actually have their style.
Okay.
Some people will just stand still and the words will move you. That's listening to them. Yeah, but some people, I think it's you. I'm also someone who is very expressive.
I can see that.
So it definitely comes out too in that. But yes, it's very, when I say people stand still, it's very, very few. you still see the hand movements, you still see sometimes, you know, these body movements go with the words that
Just
are being
like those
spoken.
that rap. You can't see them. They're always like this.
It's just like us
I don't know
as
why.
presenters. We don't just sit down and be talking.
You must.
We do this, we do that. I think
It helps. It helps the flow.
yes, I think
Yeah.
the message helps, you know, pushes the body movement and it makes the
Yeah, it
message
makes it
flow.
exactly. Exactly. it does.
Okay, Joy mentioned something earlier. She said, you know, that now that this spoken word industry is fast growing in, will I say
Even
Nigeria?
in Nigeria,
now?
yes.
In Nigeria,
in Nigeria.
now. Since you started, have you faced any form of criticism or resistance, you know, and how have you handled it?
Well, okay, so this is quite funny. I wouldn't really call it a resistance as such,
Okay.
but it still links to the past question where, the past comment, sorry, where you said it's becoming a thing now. So it was in church, and then this person came up to me and said, I'm going to say this in pidgin. Oh, that's the way they talk. I don't really understand. I don't even know. So why I get that he was giving me a very honest feedback. I also had to take it to say, okay, what can I do to get to these people who may not be all that, you know, understand the word? Because really, you also want to get to those people who really don't understand you as
Because it's one
much.
thing to speak, it's another thing for the listener to interpret what you're saying and understand.
Exactly, because that is when the message has been passed.
Yeah.
So what I did then was, when I was going to do another one, I started to do it in pidgin. I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember what it was, but I had to do that in pidgin, right? And I realized that, I don't know if it was the environment, but I realized that, wow, I think it was received much better. And he came back and said, I know it's because of me you did that. But yeah, I think that's, but mostly, I think people just get to appreciate the message it leaves. Like I sometimes I meet people, maybe I went somewhere and I can't even remember, but like, you did something and it stayed with me. There's a way it made me feel. I think that's the reward, really, to have left someone for years and the person meets you and said, there was something you did, it was just one word, and they just, you know, tell you that, please, can you say that? I want to invite, can you say that again? Can you, it means that a message, you know, has really been passed and something was, you know, sown in that person's heart, so to say. Yeah.
So do you think that the words we speak can shape our destinies?
Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. Okay. Recently, I started to listen more to Florence Scovel Shane. Her books were published around the 1930s, and that was even posthumous. So she had gone like way back. So she was mostly in the 18s and all. And those words are still powerful. They are more like affirmations,
Okay.
you know. And it's really, really interesting how the words you say to yourself and to your circumstance goes a long way in shaping them. So it makes you understand how we are actually more than we even understand as humans. We are more. It was on Instagram sometime last year. It was a research by scientists. So they had put some just drops of water in the lab. So over these words, they would say pretty, angel. I don't know if anybody has come across that post.
I saw something.
Yeah, nice. And over the other one, they would say ugly, you know, ugly, bad, wrong, and just say very negative words through them. And it looks ordinary, right? But when they put them in the freezer and they let them freeze, the ones that they spoke kind words over turned out in beautiful shapes.
Hey.
You could see this, you know?
Rebekah.
I saw that.
You saw it?
In very beautiful shapes. I was stunned. And the ones where they spoke negative words over, they came out looking shapeless. So it was like, wow.
Those are indeed powerful.
Very powerful. So it's like, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it looks, never be tempted, because I don't know why as humans by default we're tempted to just say negative, call them as they are, just say negative things, you know.
Yeah.
But as much as possible to just, no matter how it looks, just say it nicely, just speak what you want. I mean, it doesn't hurt, you don't have to buy them. It's just words that you can say, and it will amaze you how things would actually turn out to what you're saying.
All right, so now we're in the Gen Z era, and we have a lot of young people who do not pay attention to words, and they just say things anyhow, not minding the consequence. You know, words, they say words are like eggs. Once it's broken, you can't pack them, you know. So I'd like you to also address that. How important is it for young people to understand that words are powerful? Words can form your life. People just say things anyhow. Just hear people say,
how can they be more mindful of the words, the things they
what's
say?
that word they used to say? What?
I will not say it,
or
please.
I'm not. It is not me. I am not.
using-
You know, and they just
I will
say
not
it.
use such words.
You know, so I need you to also speak to someone who is watching right now. They need to pay more attention to words.
Well, I would say the current Gen Z probably
Are
just
you
still...
not a Gen Z? So say we. Better.
I think it's a growth stage too. They probably haven't realized.
Just still using they.
Because
Because
she's
I'm
not
not
one
part
of them.
She's
I'm
a
not
Gen Z.
saying those
No,
words
apart
like
from-
We're talking about Gen Z.
But she's not among those that do not
that are
understand
using the
power
words
of
negatively.
Okay. Negatively. Okay.
Yeah.
Negatively,
So I think that many of us, let me say that, many of us haven't realized how powerful words are yet. But somehow, I think as we grow older, we get to see, you know, there's a point in your life you will sit back and take an inventory of how far you have come. So it's like many of the things our parents tell us, our mom tells us, like, oh, please. And then you go on and realize that, oh, mom was right. Do you see? But there's something about someone who has gone ahead and is telling you, this is not the way. Experience might be the best teacher, but information is the safest teacher. So when you have the right information, just agree, just take to it. I mean, it doesn't hurt anyways. Because apart from even your circumstances, people get to view you by what you say. They get to, you know, experience you by what you say. You could see somebody, I mean, I could just be seated and you don't know anything about me. But when I speak, you get to have...
You can tell who you are.
Yes, an understanding of who I am. So many times we also need to be careful about what we say, because it may not be passing the, you know, the impression that you want people to get of you. Right? Meanwhile, it may not also be, in fact, it might be like 70% of what we are going through. You hear a lot of mental health. I think now it's on the increase than before. Mental health, and it's very easy to just take it. So I don't know if it's, so you just be among the, you know.
I'm traumatized. That's what I was looking for.
Exactly.
I'm traumatized.
Yeah, you know, but really, even if something is coming to you as, oh, trauma, just
Use your words
use
and
your words to cancel
rebuke
it.
it.
This is not even interesting. This is not, I mean, these are scientists that found this out. This is not even trying to be, oh, we use the word spiritual. This is not trying to be religious, right? It's just your words. Just use them. Use them. It may not be what you are saying, but say what you want to see. Say what you want to see. And I think it will go a long way in even sorting out most of the issues that they are facing. Because when you keep saying those things, they come to you. Somebody used to say, what you concentrate on concentrates on you. So if you are concentrating on those things,
On
meanwhile,
negativity.
social media, generally, you know, people just say things anyhow. They just, you know, just give stereotypes to people, and then you internalize it, and then you say it. I don't know how your experience would be different, really. But, I mean, just try it. Just try, just say something, just keep saying it. So it may not exactly change at that moment, but just keep saying it.
The change is happening somewhere.
It is happening somewhere. It is.
Okay. So for someone who wants to explore spoken word as a means of expression, what advice would you have for the person?
Firstly, you have to watch. You have to watch. You have to really watch. You have to go out of your way to say, I like this. And really, it's not a big deal. Just put spoken words in the search bar on YouTube mostly, you'd see a lot of spoken word artists. You see a lot of spoken word. So you get to understand what works for you more. You get to understand what, like I have chosen the faith part, right? Or something that just inspires, right? So you get to choose what works for you. Do you want to do it as entertainment? Do you want to do it as faith? What do you want to do it for? So the more you watch, the more you get to recognize your niche, what inspires you, how you want to express yourself better. Then you also want to look at the people who you admire. You want to listen to them over and over again. But then you also want to be careful while you're able to say, oh, you sound like this. But then you also have your unique, you know, there has to be you. You should be found there. You should be able to say, this is Rebekah speaking. This is Rebekah's style. While you may sound like this, this is your style. Yeah. So, and then while social media, I would say social media over and over again, doesn't allow for a quiet time. But you really have to be quiet. You really have to turn off the, you know, too many noises and just sit with yourself and hear yourself sometimes. Hear yourself. It might be the little things. It might be your experience in the bus. It might be something you didn't like. It might be something you liked. Just anything, really.
It doesn't even have to be English. Like you said, you had...
No, that's what she's going to perform
in
for
pidgin.
Yes, you will have to, because you mentioned it, and I'm sure our viewer is, you know, looking forward to.
Even I am looking forward to.
You know, looking forward to watch
now
and listen to you perform
wow.
in pidgin. But just before your next performance,
So be thinking
I'd
about
like
it.
to ask you, where do you see yourself in future? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
That's a very interesting question, because many times I ask myself, and you know how to say, if your dream doesn't scare you, then probably you haven't started dreaming. So I see myself being a voice of change, a voice of hope to nations. I believe I am not a local gift. Yes, I am a global gift. I believe that my words can inspire healing, deliverance, you know. So I see myself standing before kings, before presidents. I see my voice bringing the desired solution to issues, to challenges in nations. I see that. I see a president somewhere, a governor somewhere listening to me and saying, yes, that's it. That's what I was looking for. You know, just with the words I speak, because I understand that my words can. So you are giving me an opportunity to speak now. So I am speaking. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Before we go, I'd like, you know, for us to just sign off so that she can just end the program
with her rendition.
With her rendition in pidgin.
I will try. But exactly, there's still going to be some touch of English somewhere, but you will understand.
It's fine. It's
okay. Thank you. Do I go on now?
Yes, please.
Okay. First to do, know the pain. My grace you spawned in disdain, choosing your chains again and again like descendants of Cain. First to do, know the pain. Today my mercy they reign. Tomorrow, no let them be in vain. I they tell you now. Say first to do, know the pain. Thank you.
Rebekah, powerful. First to do,
Know the pain.
know the pain. Right?
So
Yeah.
First to do, know
know
the
the
pain.
pain. Yeah.
What does that mean? What message are you trying to put out there with that?
Okay.
So let me tell you what I have interpreted.
What do you
please.
understand?
Means you do me something, and I'm telling you, if I retaliate, it will be more painful. But again, I give you grace so you can make
Retrace
amends.
yourself.
You don't make good use of this grace I'm
Mommy
giving
Gio.
to you. I'm going to give it back.
Did she get it right?
Yeah, thank you. She did.
Thank
It's
you
time to
so
go.
much, Rebekah. Thank you so much for inspiring us with your words here. And of course, I have learned, and we have all learned, how powerful our words are. Words can give life. It can harm. words transform lives. So we implore you today to use your words wisely. Thank you so much, Rebekah Esongba, for joining us on the conversation. She is a spoken word minister. We wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.